So hey guys, welcome to my channel again. For those who are new to my channel, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. The subject is so important and it needs my full concentration for me to explain and tell you all that I need to tell you. So on a more serious note, I have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to go through with you. I'm going to try and make it very snappy, kind of give you like bullet points and explain a little bit. And I'm going to give you the places and websites where I got this information. The information is legit. Before I start, also just to let you know that all the resources that I have, I got it from a couple of people I know who works for the embassy. And also you can go on the website, Ghana High Commission website. You can go on Ghana Civil Aviation website as well, and then Ghana Health Ministry and a couple of other stuff. So I have done my research and this is what I found basically. And also I wanted to mention the rules that was before, which still applies, but also have new things added onto it. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of info to take and it's pretty confusing because I was actually planning to go back in the next couple of months because I have some stuff that I need to go and deal with. But everything sounds so complicated right now and more expensive to the point where you think, why? Because the cost is just too much, seriously too much. And obviously they're going to be constantly changing and updating these things. So I'm going to be coming back with more info for you guys, if anything changes. But I just wanted to quickly share with you what I have. And for those who have already traveled and have experienced this, drop me something in the comment section. Let me know what your experience was. And also those who are hoping to travel, I hope this helps you basically. I'm also going to quickly share my experience. I've done a video in depth kind of explaining the things that I went through in regards to these rule requirements traveling to Ghana. But in this one, I'm going to keep it very brief and just give you bullet points and also new things that I found out, which I feel might be of use to you guys. So let's start off by just mentioning I'm going to be reading a lot. So if I'm not looking at you guys, I'm not, trying to be rude or anything. I've got a list here that I'm going to be reading. So as part of the measures to help inform traveling public, Ghana Tourism Authority came up with a bunch of, they've launched some information to kind of help us out in regards to the COVID situation. So this was what was before I traveled to Ghana some months ago. And it's basically just wearing your face mask, which is, still applies. Wear your face mask and shield, which is very, very mandatory. What I'm going to do is tell you what is required in Ghana, what is required while you are in Ghana. So this information I have is basically just guidelines for people moving around in Ghana in regards to the COVID, what you need to do to protect yourself and to protect everybody else. Most of these things that we already know, but I'm just gonna snap it up. So basically wearing your face mask and shield in public is very, very imperative. If you're in your trotro, your bus, your vehicle, walking around wherever, you need to make sure that you have your mask on, same as we have in every other country. It's mandatory everywhere. You have to wear your mask. We all know that, but I'm just trying to, there's a cost, there's a fine of 12,000 Ghana cedis or a prison sentence if you don't do that. Hotels, restaurants, and tourist attractions are operating with appropriate social distancing precautions. So when I was in Ghana, there were hotels, some of them were open. So they have like wash basins, things for you to wash your hands before you enter, sanitizers and stuff like that. Nightclubs and bars, beaches, cinema are still closed as far as I know. When I was there wasn't a lot of places that was open. The beach were pretty much closed. So the bars, some of them were open, but you have to have your mask on before you enter. You have to wash your hands. You have to sanitize your hands before you go inside. Open air drinking establishments also have open, but they also have precautionary measures as everybody else. Religious services may operate for up to 2 hours per service. That's still going, and you have to have your mask and you have to sanitize your hands before you go in. So it's pretty much things like that. Large sporting events and also festivals are not allowed to take place. That's been completely shazammed, you know. Mandatory checking of temperature for guests and staff. Everywhere you go, you do get temperature, you know, you are checked to see how hot you are. If you're, I think, above 38, it's a no-no. Yeah, so, and also kids areas like playgrounds and places I noticed were closed because they don't encourage kids to go and mix, you know, closed. So back to airlines. What I've noticed about this is that airlines, what it says is that airlines who board passengers without the PCR test result or transport and disembark passengers with positive PCR test result into Accra will be fined US dollars 3,500 per passenger. So these airlines also have guidelines. If they do not go by these government guidelines that have been given to them, they get fined on a serious note. So I'm going to talk to you right now of what happened with the Brexit. I'm not going to go into the Brexit, but I'm going to talk to you about what happened due to the Brexit in regards to traveling internationally and to Europe as well. So I'm going to read it. That's okay. So the new update that came, that's been flying about. I had to, get it confirmed. That was flying about, which is just adding more difficulty and adding more, stress to a lot of people traveling, is the fact that they say that I needed to pay extreme attention to what I'm about to read to you, because it's the little bits of information that we miss, that gets us into whatever big mess, because when I was traveling, there was a lot of people at the transit airport that were stuck behind because either they didn't have the PCR test or they didn't have a certain document that was needed to travel, so they were left behind. And they were so strict. Some of these transit airlines, airports were so strict on what you bring with you, what you are supposed to bring with you, and what happens when you don't bring those documents with you. So it's very imperative to make sure you have all the documents before you even get on board. Times they even deny you boarding the flight. So you need to be very, very careful, very, very thorough, and very, very, to make sure that you have what is needed. So this is about Ghanaians traveling, okay? Ghanaians traveling between the UK and Ghana via Europe with Ghana passport. So if you have Ghana passport, this is for you. This part of information is for you. So please take it in and research after you've taken whatever I've, shared with you. So last week, from the 1st of January, which was my birthday, jokes aside, 1st of January 2021, if you're traveling between the UK and Ghana via Amsterdam, Paris, or any other European airports on transit, with your Ghanaian passport, regardless if you're a resident in the UK, if you're permanent stay in the UK, or you're a visitor, all this applies to you. So basically, UK is no longer a EU country because of the Brexit. So traveling from a non-EU country to another non-EU country via Europe requires this type of visa unless your nation is exempt. Unfortunately, Ghana government, this is what you need to take in. Ghana government failed to negotiate an exemption for Ghana citizens. So that's made it even more difficult, which means that you are exempt if you are traveling on a British passport. Okay, if you have a British passport, it's different. So you're exempt if you're traveling on a British passport, but you must have a visa to enter Ghana unless you have a dual nationality card. Okay, so airport transit visa is around 80 euros, which is about £60, you can read more about this on the website. And you must apply for it at the Dutch or the French embassies in Accra or in London. So you must email these embassies to make an appointment. You have to make an appointment. You can't just turn up like I did and get turned away. You have to make an appointment to get your visa. Okay, so what you need to do is check these embassies. So let's say KLM, for example, flies through Amsterdam. For you to be able to transit through Amsterdam to get to Ghana, you have to have a visa just to step on that soil. Just to transit, you need a visa to do that. Before you didn't need to do that, but now that's what you need to do. So Netherlands and France and other European countries now require you to present a negative COVID test. It wasn't like that before. Okay, so even if you are not transiting through, you need to provide that negative COVID test. You must take the test within 72 hours before departure, no longer than that. If you're currently in Ghana and due to fly back with KLM or Air France, you must do a COVID test. When we were in Ghana, that was kind of like, is it coming in? Is it not coming in? That was something that they were speculating about. So when I was returning back, it was something that I missed. I left before that rule came into place. So I didn't have to do the test coming back from Ghana. But when you are going to Ghana, you have to have that test. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. So the airport transit visa is not required if you are flying directly from UK to Ghana or vice versa with British Airways. But it is likely that UK government will shortly impose a requirement to produce a negative PCR test prior to departure to the UK. It's if you're traveling with British Airways on the British passport directly, if you're not going to transit, you don't need all that. But it could change. Things keeps changing, updates keep coming, so this may not even be relevant a few months down the line. So for now, this is what is required. So now what's happening now is that not only do you have to have a PCR test and the Ghana antigen test on arrival in Ghana, you now have to have a PCR test when departing Ghana and traveling through Europe. This is now a very, very costly affair, So just to wrap that up, before you needed to, when I was traveling, like I mentioned, I needed to do my PCR test and I needed to do it within the 72-hour window. You can't do it earlier than that, which is ridiculous. But you do that 72-hour test. You get to Ghana, you get to do another test, which is the antigen test that you do when you get there. You have to pay for that one. The one you do before you go to Ghana, you pay for, which is about £120, $150. You do that before you go. That's that's one cost, right? You get to Ghana, you get to do your antigen test, and that is another $150, £120 at the airport. Yeah. On top of that, you have your visa, going through Europe and all that stuff. That's extra added fees onto your traveling. This is aside all your flight tickets, all your spending money, all your everything else you go into Ghana to do. When you're coming back, they're not saying that you have to have the test. Guys, is it really worth going to Ghana? I mean, if it's essential, definitely, but the cost that is coming with traveling is just ridiculous. So what's happened here, let me just finish this off, I've got more. So what people want to do, basically what we want the government to do in Ghana, is basically try and consider removing the test requirements at the airport, because the test that they do in Ghana is the antigen test, which is less accurate, than the test itself. That's just an antigen test. The PCR test, obviously, it's more accurate than that. I don't know why you have to have a test before you travel, and then when you get to the airport, you have to have another test. It doesn't make sense to me, because even if you have, the COVID, it doesn't necessarily show straight away. You may not have symptoms. It may not even show on your test when you get to Ghana until like maybe a few days after. So them having a test before, I don't get it. If you guys get it, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. I just don't get why you have to have those two tests so close to each other. It's not going to show any difference, So to me, that's just waste of money. Seriously, it's just waste of money. Also, it's easier for you to purchase your visa before you travel. Guys, do that. Because the issue I had the last time was that when I went to the visa office to try and get this visa to go for my dad's funeral, that was essential traveling. These guys did everything they could not to give me the visa. And because I didn't have an appointment, I was supposed to email them for an appointment, which I didn't have time to do. It is cheaper to get the visa before you go, because when I got to the airport, I had to pay $150, and that's for one person, just to get the visa. So that, on top of all the tests that you have to do, that's like almost, okay, a little exaggeration, that's like almost $1,000, like 1,000 whatever, including come on, this is the money they're making, for you to travel because of COVID. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. A lot of these things can be, it needs to be reviewed. I think it needs to be reviewed because it's ridiculous. So I just want to quickly clarify something here in regards to kids. Initially, when the border opened, kids from 5 years old to whatever age had to have the COVID test, and they had to pay. Under 5 years old, they didn't have to have the COVID test. They didn't have to do anything. But right now, it's slightly been reviewed because a lot of people were very angry about that. And now it's been changed to kids under 5 do not have to have the test. But kids from 5 years old to 12 years old do have to have the test, but they do not have to pay. So they've taken the charges off for the children from 5 years old to 12 years old. And then above 12 years old, you do it, you have to pay. Right now, though, they started these vaccines, COVID vaccine that have recently started. Some people have been, immunized. And from what I know so far is that you're going to be getting 2 doses, the first one, and then the second dose comes, say, about 2 months after your first one, and the second dose is supposed to fully kind of cover you from COVID. And from what I see as well, my speculation is that they're probably going to be requiring the vaccine when you travel. It might have to be a mandatory thing where if you travel, you have to have the vaccine. They probably have to do it like a yellow fever card where you have like a vaccine card for when you travel. So if you have the COVID test, they'll give you a certificate so that you travel with it. to show that you have had your vaccine, just like you do your yellow fever injection before you travel to Ghana. I think it's going to be something like that. So do check it out, listen out, to any more info, just so that you can cover yourself. Because there's a lot of things still not, clear right now. So what I know is what I'm giving you. And on top of that, when you get to Ghana as well, they do like a temperature screening. So once you walk into the airport, like I explained in the other video, once you walk into the airport, there's like a screening monitor where they randomly pick people with very high temperature and retest them. Yeah, so even with a test that you have in Ghana, they say it takes 30 minutes. When we had, when we had it, it took at least just slightly over the 30 minutes. You pay for that test, like I said. If you refuse to pay to undergo the test, passenger's passport will be seized. Your passport will be taken from you, and the passenger will be handed over to the state security agencies. So don't refuse. Also, if you refuse, you'll be taken into a 14 days quarantine at the designated location, which you have to pay. Any passengers with a positive test upon arrival will receive further kind of like assessment and treatment at the port health unit. And what they're trying to say now is that payment should be done online before you travel. The other thing that is imperative, I mean, you can do it at the airport, but they want people to try and pay for the test before they arrive in Ghana. The other thing that is imperative for you to do is the health declaration form. And that form, you fill it online before you leave, because what I realized, I did it before I left, but when I got to the airport, there was a lot of people who didn't do it, and there was a long queue of people trying to get a tablet, a device to fill that form in, which is obviously an added, extra time and stress onto your travel. So do try and do that before you travel. Once you do that, you have your test done, you pay for your test, you wait for the results, you go and get your luggage, and then it's a long process, guys. So this whole issue with the travel update, with the Brexit thing affecting travel, Ghanaians, and it's really, really stressful. So if you are going to Ghana at this time when there is lockdown, make sure it's only essential, and make sure that you have all the documents that they require. Make sure that you have everything that you've been told to have, because they're very, very strict on you traveling, very, very strict on you having the right documentation, the right PCR test from a legit company. If you don't have those things, they're going to deny you boarding. They are that strict, very strict. I thought I was going to be left behind, but it's imperative that you do make sure you have all these things, so you don't get yourself into that trouble. So yeah, like I said, you can find all these resources on the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. You can get it from the Ghana High Commission. You can get it from Ghana Health. All this information is on the website, so do check it out just to get a lot of more clarification of what I'm saying. Don't just take my word for it. So as I believe there's going to be more update coming up, once I get them, I'm going to come back and share that with you. But I hope this helps you on your next travel. I hope that, this helps somebody. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for clicking on my name, clicking on the video. I hope you come back soon, and I hope that you subscribe, and definitely do not forget that bell. So stay blessed, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Hey guys, so I was about to edit the video and another news came. So something else has been added to the many, many, many rules that we have going on right now. I mean, it's just insane. So whether you are arriving by ship, by train, by flight, you need to have this PCR test before you board to come back to the UK. And as usual, you do it 3 days before your flight, which is 72 hours before your flight. And you need to make sure you have proof and evidence, provide a negative result before you travel. If you arrive without the test, you'll be fined up to £500 and you may not be able to board the flight. And if you test positive while you're abroad, you're gonna have to not board, basically. So this is getting insane. This is getting insane. And this rule apparently is in place temporarily till 15th of Feb, I believe, or maybe the end of February. We don't really know yet. Everything keeps coming in day out. We don't know what's going on. I'm sure after this, there's going to be something else tomorrow. But this is what's going on right now. And jokes aside, it's just depressing, isn't it? So, and on top of that, you have to have a, locator form where basically the track where you go, where you are when you come back from your vacation to England. And also when you come back, you have to isolate on top of that. So when you come back from wherever country you're coming back from, you have your PCR test, you show it. You have to quarantine for 10 days. And without quarantine, after five days, you can have something they call test to release after 5 days, where you can have the test again. And if it shows negative, then you can go out and do whatever you want. But if it's still positive, then you stay home and continue to isolate. This is insane, guys. I mean, what's going on? If you guys know any better, if you have any more information, if you want to correct me on something I've said that's not accurate, do put it down in the comment section below. But this information is straight from their website, straight from some legit resources that I've had. But yeah, please do share your experiences and share your thoughts, basically. As usual, please subscribe. Do not forget to comment, share, and like. Love you guys. Mwah.